Hey guys, Promise Neverland hit so hard because we were all once adventurous and somewhat naive kids playing detective in an unfamiliar and intimidating world made a little bit better through our own innocence and imagination. Except in this anime, the stakes of playing detective are incredibly high, like life or death high. It's also a beautiful story of how all these little kids make use of their ingenuity and teamwork to escape the house and the ever-lurking mama. There's a deep nostalgic beauty in what the anime inspires in its viewers. It reminds us of our childhoods and how, we used to turn everything into an adventure, be it playing tag, sleepovers, hiding from pretend monsters, or exploring the outdoors and new situations, often to the disapproval of our parents. All in all, the anime strongly delivers, and also had some solid typical components, like very good plot progression with a slow reveal of the chilling state of humanity, and how the development of the kids' master plan to escape episode by episode was done in such a captivating and steady manner that had me hooked all the way. In this episode, I'm just going to talk about my thoughts on the Mama character, and I'm going to call her Mother here because Mama sounds weird, like I'm calling for my mama to feed me or buy me a toy or something. So there are a lot of great characters, but I think hers is the most interesting because of the difference of how she's portrayed in the beginning and the end of the story. And I want to know what she's thinking and how her interaction changes with the kids. Mother is an eerie, dark, and mysterious character, all the qualities that fit an anime villain, and we want to label her as such. But while this certainly seems to be true for much of the anime, the last few episodes bring out a totally new side to her, a side that completely jumbled my mental picture that I had built of her across the beginning episodes. So, what's so great about Mother's character? To start off, she's basically the scary adult with the creepy smile all the kids are running away from, because she's going to feed them to the monsters at some point later. Towards the end of the story, however, it is revealed that she was previously a kid at some farm, and after she discovered the secret of the farm, became a mother, probably to survive. So we start to see more of her backstory and start to empathize with her. But the point I want to draw here is that her character goes way deeper than being a typical anime villain that the story wants us to somehow sympathize a little bit. Because within the context of Promised Neverland, where oblivious-go-lucky kids are raised on farms to feed demons in the outside world, and there are no other options to survive, I think that her actions can honestly be interpreted as love. Because she honestly and rationally believes that even if the kids escape the farm, they won't survive in a world dominated by these powerful demons. So if they're essentially doomed in the future, then she has accepted the responsibility of comforting and providing for them in the few years of childhood that they have to be happy before the day comes that they eventually will be turned into food. And that's exactly what she did the entire story, from taking care of the kids by reading them books, playing with them, even singing them lullabies. Now you might say she's just doing this because it's her job. She needs to make the kids grow happy so they make for better food. Similar to how in Japan they produce this famous of what's called Wagyu beef. If you haven't tried it before, by the way, it's delicious. But anyways, they produce this really rich tasting beef by keeping cattle as happy as possible. They even sing songs for them at sometimes. But I believe that Mother goes above and beyond these basic vocational responsibilities, and I'll get more to this later. My favorite scene though with Mother is when, after she fails to catch the kids, she goes back to the house, or rather what's left of it, and meets Phil, which by the way is my boy, the real MVP, who, by the way, at the incredible age of 4, actually musters up the bravery to volunteer to stay behind so the rest could escape. But anyways, Mother tells him something very interesting, that the others have successfully escaped. Now you might just dismiss this as a moot point in the story, like, oh, she's just talking about something that happened, we shouldn't take this too seriously, but I'm asking the question of why would she do this? Because logically, it would be better to just say nothing in order to prevent ideas of escape from forming in the minds of the kids that stayed behind. Or to tell them that the others failed, to, lie and crush their hopes of escaping later. I view this as a moment of character development in which Mother relinquishes her control over how the kids should live. And they have proven through sheer determination and ingenuity that they have what it takes to survive against incredible odds. And it influences mothers' way of thinking about how to live in the shitty world where they all find themselves in. I also can't help but suspect that part of Mother is very happy for these kids because they dared to accomplish what she viewed as impossible. While Isabella submitted to the grim reality of humanity trapped in a cycle of being raised and harvested for demon food, and even joined the process as a mother just to survive, her kids refused to let circumstances define their spectrum of choices and dreams by carrying out their escape anyways. Kudos to them. There's a moment where Isabella rushes to the edge of the wall, and she sees Emma about to zipline away. Instead of screaming at Emma in anger, frustration, or other negative emotions, she just smiles peacefully. Smiles, of all things. Can you imagine of being in charge of this super important operation where you have kids under your control? Maybe these kids are, the kids of super rich celebrities, and you're getting paid a lot and you have a lot of pressure to take care of them. And then one day they just burn down your building and run away like, see you later, alligator, you dummy, you're not in charge here. Wouldn't that piss you off? Wouldn't that frustrate you? Wouldn't you yell at them? No, not Isabella. She just sort of smiles. So I think at that moment, she's a little proud of her kids. They did what she couldn't, and they're trying their hardest to get away and already proved they could against her. In a way, maybe she was testing them. Maybe she has been developing and progressing for the entire story, and they finally passed her test, and that she believes they're ready for the outside world. In addition, I think, she tried to love the kids in her own way by sticking with the system, taking care of them, and then releasing them to their ultimate fate later on. But they rejected it, and now all she has left to do is believe in them, and that she believes they can continue to overcome the world and survive. She accepts this through her smile. The last thing I want to say is that the main thing I took from this scene, and that I still remember to this day, is that the way the kids challenge the mother's perception of the world and what she's doing is just, it's a somewhat extreme extension of how kids and parents react in real life. How some parents believe the world works one way and impose certain values on their kids, but their kids don't believe in that kind of stuff and want to live different. Maybe some parents only want their kids to be successful as doctors, engineers, or lawyers, but their kids want to become musicians or YouTubers. We can relate to that kids' ideologies of freedom and optimism because we all have mother-like figures in our own lives. People in positions of authority who care for us in their own way and whom we appreciate, but ultimately go against the life we want for ourselves, and ultimately cause us to break free by growing up. And the fact that the mother accepts the kid's choice to pursue their freedom and their own kind of happiness outside the cycle of life within the farm resonates with me, because we want these authority figures in our lives to see across the table and join our lives of thinking. The world we live in might not be ruled by flesh-eating demons, but there are certainly pressing political and social issues that would benefit from mutual understanding of each other, just like how Mother understood and accepted the kid's desire to break free towards the end of the story. Anyways, guys, was this a nostalgic blast of the past for you guys as well? Do you agree or disagree with my analysis of Mother? Who was your favorite character in Promised Neverland? So, comment below to let me know, and don't forget to drop a like or subscribe if you found this video interesting and want to hear more content. You can even let me know what anime you want me to cover. Alright, thanks.